Hello and welcome to Gasoline and Marshmallows. I am your host, Clint,
And I'm Jennifer.
and please go like our Facebook page at Gasoline and Marshmallows, or go check out our website at gasolineandmarshmallows.com, where you can get more podcasts and anything else we talk about, pictures, videos, and blogs on the website. Please share and like the podcast, which is on our Final Shot Saloon feed. We are on Stitcher and iTunes. This is our very first episode, so we're going to test the waters, as it were, and we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves and kind of tell you how we would like this show to go, or show you how this is going to go. First, we've been married for 14 years, been together 21, though.
Yes.
It's quite the feat. We have 2 kids. One just turned 8, and Cody is going to turn 5. And so school started, and everything's kind of winding down for us. We're what you call your weekend warriors. We're not full-timers. We just definitely don't have time for full-timing with the kids being in school and stuff. And since they're in school, stuff's slowing down, so we thought it'd be a good time to start our podcast. So why did we get into RVing? Well, it kind of stems from us traveling for Fast Draw a little bit. We traveled around the western United States more and kind of enjoyed the traveling part, but we never really got to see anything because it was always get to the contest, shoot the contest, and go home and save time for the next contest. But we've actually seen some very cool states. South Dakota, Colorado, Wyoming. That's probably the most beautiful ones we got there. So we really enjoyed Colorado. And what kind of started this whole thing was we took our very last contest, and we actually spent a week out in South Dakota, Rapid City, and did the train out there, and we did a lot of stuff out there, actually. But we kind of enjoyed the family time that we had, and we were going to kind of, semi-retire from the sport just so that we can spend more time with our kids and raise them right. Well, then, I think it was last year, Joe mentioned that we buy a camper or a motorhome, and we've actually talked about it when we were doing contests and stuff, but we're kind of ones that we want to get there and we want to get home real quick. So the RV part was just kind of out of the question, and when she mentioned it, I mentioned it to you, and we just kind of thought, well, maybe. So we just kind of went online and checked a bunch of stuff out, and I don't know, when did we buy this?
It was last August.
So about a year ago, and we really only got to take it out about 4 or 5 times before all the birthdays and closing of everything else started happening. And
partly because we live in the Midwest, so we have to prepare for winter and all that.
Yep. And with school and everything else, it just, when August comes around, you only have maybe, when the end of August happens, you're pretty much on kids' time. It's school, it's getting like you said, basically boarding up and getting ready to hibernate up here. But we kind of looked around. Was it the majority of summer? I think we looked around.
Yeah, we took our time looking around, figuring out what exactly we were looking for, because we weren't sure.
Yep. And we went to one of the local ones and actually saw we're actually checking out just kind of general Class C's. We knew we wanted a Class C. We've had some disagreements of a fifth wheel or a trailer, but we'll get into that. I wanted a Class C, and we were checking out 2 of them, and they were kind of the same. But then I think we ran into a 2014 something that had bunk beds in it. and Jennifer comes out of this. We were just about to leave, and she comes out of this new one and says, "You need to go in there and check it out." So I went in there and checked it out, and I mean, this is a 2014 dark wood.
Unrealistic for us
Yeah.
on our budget, but it was very cool and really was kind of the key factor of us starting to look for ones with bunk beds in it.
Oh, most definitely. Just for the fact that the kids can have their own space. They're not sleeping on the dinette. They're not sleeping on the fold-out couch or above the cab. It's their own little space.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got home and we were really running it through our heads, and we went online and looked, and we actually found 2 Winnebago Access 31Js. And these had the bunks in it. And, well, we went, the one place didn't have it, and this was the close one. It was, where was it? Was it out for rental?
Yes.
It was out for rental. And then we went to this one in the cities. Now, this thing was
Used.
I mean, they got their
Well
life
used.
out of it. Yeah. I think it had 31,000 miles on it.
Yeah, that's probably
That's about right?
Yeah.
So we saw this one, and it was a little beat up, high miles, same year, 2008. The one thing I really didn't like about it was that the generator was right underneath the couch. I can't see really having that in that spot in this RV at all. They're not super loud, but they're loud enough to where I think if you were watching a movie or something, boondocking, it's going to be too much. So then I think it was about a week or two later, the first place that we went to check, did they call us? No, we called them. I can't really remember, but we showed up and they finally got it in. Now this thing was taken care of.
Well, before you go on any further, I would like to say when we saw the one in the cities, it had just gotten turned in.
Oh, yeah.
And they hadn't had a chance to clean it up yet. So, I mean, we saw it at its worst.
Yeah, true.
So it could have been cleaned up probably a little bit better, but it was still a little more beat up, especially compared to this one that we saw in Clearwater.
And they were almost, I think they were close in price.
Yeah, very close in price.
So
And this other one was a lot less miles.
yeah, the one that we actually got. The thing that we went to the Clearwater one, what is it called? Outdoor rec?
Outlet recreation?
Yes. Okay, thank you. I always get it wrong. So at least we had some sort of basis to kind of go off of what we wanted. And when we walked into it, it was clean. We love the low miles, you can tell. Love that the generator was in the back. That was kind of my big concern since we didn't see it, we didn't know where it was located. And it was in the back. That was good. And it was really well taken care of. I guess the guy garaged it, and he didn't drive it because he actually, I don't know if he was waiting to buy a Class A with bunk beds in it or what, but he just didn't really drive it. It really was in great shape. So it really didn't take us that long to kind of really start working the numbers and stuff like that. I should say you working the numbers. I would just buy it. But we took it out for a test drive, and I think it was within the week. They did work with us, and we knew what our price limit was. And I would say to anybody who is looking for an RV or a travel trailer or anything, have your set price in mind. And I don't want to say go for it because you hate that, but I would say go for it because if you have your set payment a month that you would do, I think it's really worth it, and you're going to find out in the next future podcasts here why we really do enjoy it. But as far as the whole process of of buying it and anything, pretty was flawless.
There was a little hiccup in the beginning, but I think it all worked itself out, and it.
Yeah, because they were trying to get more years on it, as far as the payment.
Yeah, and I didn't want it to go beyond 10 years.
Yeah.
Which still seems like a long time to me, but
Yep.
it is a home on wheels, so 10 years isn't all that bad.
And that's one thing that it was. We don't buy that kind of stuff.
No, so it was definitely scary because it is such a big investment. But now that we've been doing it, it's the best, and the kids love it. And just spending time with the kids, there's nothing better.
Memories. You hear the cliche, you're making memories, but it is true. They just can't wait to keep going, and it's amazing to me, but it's really fun. And I would also give you a little tip on before you buy anything is, maybe you want to check out YouTube or some of the blogs that are out there and kind of go through those tutorial videos and stuff. And maybe it's something you don't want to even deal with. Maybe you don't want to empty a holding tank. I mean, that was really my main concern is, okay, this is human waste, and I don't want to be a buffoon and have a brown shower happening outside the RV. So I think I watched about 7 or 10 how to dump your tank, and I think we got it down.
Yeah, I think we do a good job.
So
it's definitely worth checking out the videos and just doing as much research on that specific topic, because it is that is probably one of the scariest things that you have to deal with is, okay, now we've enjoyed the weekend of camping, and now what do we do before we pack up and leave?
Yep. So. Now you got full tanks, and I don't know what to do. And also what I would suggest, just because since we're on the topic of it, is let your tanks fill up, then get your hose out and dump it out. You don't have to open your tanks and just let everything run out, because what ends up happening is it builds up, and this kind of sounds gross, but you want stuff to float around in there and stay movable or loose. And that way when you do go to dump your tanks, you're getting everything out of there. And that's kind of one of my biggest, what do you call it? The thing that I try to do the most is just keep at least the black water tank system clean, because I don't like them type of odors. But anyway, so yeah, I think for the most part, that's what you want to do, is you want to get on there, you want to research it. There's plenty of places you can go on YouTube. RV Geeks is a really good one. I don't have any more that I can think of, but just type in RV tutorials, and there's plenty of them out there. A lot of them do upgrading, but you want to get that first time videos going, because it does pay to kind of check those out. And also look up your specific RV that you're looking at. If you're looking at a fifth wheel or looking at a tow trailer or a Class A or Class C, look those up, and most of the time you'll find a tutorial on just that RV, so it gives you that breakdown. Because, not saying anything bad about our sales guy, because I thought he was great, but sometimes they kind of rush you through your first time, your walk around. You want to do this, you want to do that, and it's good to have a pen and paper